Episode 31. Now, this episode wasn't bad, I just have some questions. So, a carrier boat is cruising by. A mist surrounds it, and unfortunately Floatzel can't learn to fog. Things start to get a little Titanic-y, and there's this siren call in the background. Soothing and chilling. It's a Lapras, and apparently the sailors trust it to get them out of the fog. And they were right to, because they end up safe. I'll admit I was disappointed. Now, a story about a group of rogue Lapras leading sailors to their demise would be sick, but a bit intense and also quite the plot detour. Grandma Liko explains this Lapras legend, and how this one's special. Likely even the one from the 6 Heroes. She mentions that this song's been heard all around the world, so I guess not really a legend? Grandma herself even looked for it but never found it. Considering that dream along with the one to discover Lucius, it's pretty cool how her unfulfilled dreams are starting to bud now. Roy's like, let's go get lost on purpose! Which ends up not being a bad plan. But to find Lapras, we gotta find the people that found Lapras first. So they come across these sailors that confirm they did see Lapras. And they also mention during that all their cargo went missing. But they don't seem to mind because they, saw Lapras. Which is interesting that that's just enough for them not to look into the situation at all. And it's not like Lapras are particularly rare, not even this one, so I don't know. Side note, does anyone else find it interesting that the deck specifically states that Lapras can understand human speech? I am fairly confident that you could command these things to file your taxes. Now it's time to start the search. The Brave Asagi gets this pretty dope transformation sequence as it goes from the air to the sea. Like that spectacle, the music, it just feels so grand. Both the fog and the Lapras with the angelic voice appear to guide the ship. But it makes me wonder, the Brave Asagi isn't actually lost, they're doing this on purpose, so is this Lapras just in the habit? Does it just kind of guess, or? Then we see the Terra Turtle is lured to it, which all but confirms a connection to Lucius. And we get some commotion on the ship. I'm all like, when did they get an Ambipom and a Tentacruel? But those Pokemon scram as fast as they came. Gone without a trace in Lapras too. Later on, Roy's venting about the Pokemon that practically mugged them. These Pokemon were so tactical and organized it almost seems strategic. And you could say the same thing about the timing of the mist, which leads them to rationalize that this mist is purposely being created by Lapras. Now that they know something's fishy in these waters, they purposely dive back into the fog. They replicate what the sailors did and move all their cargo, all the food onto the deck. And it probably goes without saying that the highlight of this episode was Cap using its Thunderstorm Tornado to locate the pirate Pokemon. Looks like these Pokemon's guidance is just a ploy to steal food and supplies, including the Lapras, who was really rogue looking, with scars all over its body. With its roar being even more intense than the visuals, I'm pumped that they found Lucius's Lapras, and Terrapagos reaching out to it was a great way to foreshadow that. I guess it's just kind of hard to believe this is a worldwide known phenomenon, but the Volt Tacklers seem to be the first ones to ever look into it. There's just things like that just don't make the Pokemon world seem very observant. And while there was some pretty interesting stuff at the end, I feel like that doesn't save that the rest of this episode was honestly pretty dull. And it just feels pretty early to be having episodes like that. But if this turns out to just be set up for this unexpected two-parter, that's more excusable. If they don't stick the landing next week, I would give this one a D, but I will be cautiously optimistic and give it a C.